Good evening. The time is upon us. It is the pitch night. And welcome and thank you for braving the weather this evening. Upstate New York, we are here. I know, spring will come. My name is Susan Pleiner, and I'm an Associate Dean and the Director of the Centennial Center for Leadership, and I'd like to welcome you all to the third annual The Pitch Contest. I'm delighted to see so many parents, professors, friends, and staff and mentors here tonight to share in this wonderful event. Before I begin, I'd like to kindly remind our audience to silence your cell phones. We do, however, welcome you to live tweet throughout the event using the hashtag on the screen, ThePitch2014. Okay. It's hard to believe that the pitch is in its third year. It was created in response to the year-long academic theme at the time, the power of an idea, but it has become a program that touches on all phases of the HWS community. Over the last 3 years, 92 students have participated in the pitch. That's 56 proposals from individuals as well as teams. 21 alums have served as mentors, and 10 have served as judges. 20 members of our faculty and staff have served on the selection committees. Additionally, 5 entrepreneurs have served on the selection committee. Needless to say, it has taken a village to bring this contest to life. It's clear that entrepreneurship continues to grow at HWS. Over the last 2 fall semesters, a course called Entrepreneurial Leadership has been offered through the Economics Department. The Centennial Center for Leadership also offered an accelerator program, prep program called the HWS Idea Lab. This is a 6-week series accelerator in order for students to be able to further develop their ideas. This year, we positioned the series just prior to the pitch proposal deadline and instantly saw results when 4 Idea Lab students made the semifinal round of this year's pitch contest. 2 of those Idea Lab students are in the finals tonight. The Centennial Center for Leadership also debuted the Innovation Academy over the winter break. Each of the pitch semifinalists returned to campus the week prior to the start of classes. They engaged in 5 days of intensive entrepreneurial leadership training in topics such as innovation, idea iteration, accounting, marketing, negotiations, and funding strategies. I think you will see the impact of that work tonight. Just as we hoped when we designed the program, the pitch is really a display of the liberal arts learning. The Centennial Center for Leadership takes great pride in this, but we know that it is a reflection of a long tradition of student ingenuity at HWS, as well as the dynamic educational environment we have at the colleges. The ideas you will hear tonight reflect our students' learning, their academic interests, and their individual passions. They also reflect the mentoring that they have received from so many professors, advisors, staff members, and of course, their family and friends. I'd like to thank those individuals. You make our work with these students so rich. I'd also like to commend the work of all the students that participated in the pitch. It takes a lot of courage to put forward a new idea. What a great evening to mark how far these 4 finalists have come. It should be noted that we have a first year, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior all competing tonight for our $10,000 grant. Great representation of our student body. And this is a first for us. Regardless of who wins, we were nothing short of impressed by the students' work ethic this year. Nicole, John, Morgan, Otto, we are extraordinarily proud of you. On behalf of the Centennial Center for Leadership, I want to thank President Guerin for his commitment to our contest. President Guerin has long been a supporter of the pitch as well as entrepreneurial leadership on campus. I'd like to welcome him to the stage to introduce our panel of judges. President Guerin.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Pleiner, and congratulations and welcome. Let me begin by congratulating all of you for coming out on this lovely night. Saying to folks earlier, I had this weird dream that yesterday it was 50 degrees here. People were out on the quad in shorts, you know. I guess I was just dreaming that. But we thank you for coming, and my compliments to you for the initiative to come for which is one of my favorite nights of the year here with the pitch competition. It's exciting. It's Hobart and William Smith at its very best. So I warmly welcome you, and we want to get on with the program. But as a liberal arts institution, we pride ourselves in our ability through the educational process and the coursework, through co-curricular activities, through the sense of community here to cultivate innovative, and critical thinkers. Our students here at the colleges are immersed in an academic environment where thoughtful problem solving and intellectual curiosity and calculated risk-taking are really and very much embraced. And so in many ways, this pitch competition is a real celebration of the Hobart and William Smith experience. The contest is in many ways a demonstration of our values. Number one, we believe in ideas, and ideas that add value. We challenge students to apply their talents towards ideas that will create positive change and add intellectual value to our markets and to our communities. Cultivating entrepreneurial leaders couldn't be more important. We want our students prepared to tackle the complex issues in the 21st century that you will live and work in, to equip you with the tools to offer innovative solutions across the various sectors. And so the pitch is a very rigorous experience. It's applied learning for future entrepreneurial leaders. And in many ways, it really builds upon the ethos at Hobart and William Smith, which embraces intellectual inquiry and critical thinking. And so I very much at the outset want to thank Stu Liebland from the class of '90, who has made an important commitment to entrepreneurial leadership at HWS by funding the pitch. This is a big deal for us. He's made commitments to do this for the next 5 years. And he very much wanted to be here, to be part of this evening, to celebrate with you, to hear from our contestants, to thank our judges for coming up. But obviously the weather made that a bit challenging. So as we begin this evening, let us collectively thank Stu for his commitment to entrepreneurial leadership here at Hobart and William Smith. We are very pleased to have this dazzling group of judges here that reflect the many genres of entrepreneurship. It's composed of 5 Hobart and William Smith alums. So what do we know already? They're all very well educated, right? And so I want to introduce them in alphabetical order and then quiz them before they have their turn as judges. First, alphabetically in the center, Horace Allen from the class of '85 is the founder and CEO of Legacy Creators, which is a nonprofit social enterprise. Horace, welcome back. Jeffrey Berkey from the class of '76 is co-founder of LifeCare Inc., LifeCare's vice chairman and its chief strategy officer. Mr. Berkey, thank you. Rebecca Carr from the class of '86 is the chief marketing officer of CenturyLink Technology Solutions and also a parent here. Welcome back. Will Margoloff from the class of '92 is the CEO of Ignition One. Will, welcome. And last but not least, Dr. Deborah Pilla from the class of '76. She is a pediatric dentist and affiliated with Lenox Hill Hospital and an owner of a private practice in New York City. Dr. Pilla. So we are very grateful to have you here, but we did not want your expertise to solely be placed in quizzing the judges, so I thought I might take advantage of your... I thought we should have a little fun with them. They don't know what I'm going to say or ask, so this is really for the contestants because they're kind of sweating it out back here, so right back at you. I'm going to make them uncomfortable for a while on your behalf. So let me start with Will Margoloff. Here's the big question, the big idea I have for you, Will. Can innovation be learned?
Let me turn on my mic. That's not working either. Oh, is it working? Okay. Can innovation be learned? Absolutely. But innovation is built, of course, upon experiences already. So I think one of the things I always stress to people when I talk to them is don't forget the things you've done in your life. Those experiences are the building blocks to innovation. You'll never know what to innovate if you haven't done something previously. So it's really important just to remember the things you do in your life, the experiences you've had to do that innovation, to leapfrog.
Great answer. All right, he's a judge. We got that. Let me go to the other side of the table, Jeff Berkey. Jeff, you've built a successful business. You're a chief strategy officer. What do you think are the ingredients of a good idea?
Well, I think the most important thing about a good idea is if you truly believe in it. Because if you really don't believe in it, you're not going to be able to sell it. And I think the belief in what you do is why I became an entrepreneur. I didn't want to work at something. I was in marketing, nothing wrong with marketing, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to have that be my legacy. It wasn't really something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I decided to quit that profession and start a new one that was totally different and new. And but I totally believed in what I was doing. And I think that is what led me to the success that I've had, is the true belief in, first of all, making a difference, and then also making a commitment to yourself and to the people who work with you and for you to support them.
And your HWS education prepared you for that?
Absolutely, believe it or not.
Good answer. Thank you. All right, Becky, my question for you is, what do you think distinguishes great entrepreneurial leaders? What are some of the distinctive elements of leadership for those who fashion entrepreneurial ideas and take them to fruition?
Yeah, a great question. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of young entrepreneurs in the technology industry. And first and foremost, it's passion. Just a charismatic ability to attract really talented people cross-functionally. Entrepreneurs tend to be, again, very passionate and excel at what they want to do, but they need to surround themselves with people that bring other attributes to the table, because that passion is only going to get you so far. Recognizing and surrounding yourselves with the functional capabilities that you need to actually take it to market is ultimately what turns into a thriving business.
Great answer again. We're batting. Next, Dr. Pilla, as a member of the Board of Trustees and as a graduate, you know this place very well. You are yourself an entrepreneur. You built a business as a very successful pediatric dentist right in New York City. So my question to you is, what can a liberal arts education provide an entrepreneur? Or how has your own education informed and prepared you? A variation of the question.
Well, first, the disclaimer is I want you all to know none of us heard these questions in advance.
I will affirm that.
But I think for my own experience at Hobart and William Smith, especially the William Smith part, taught me as a young woman a tremendous amount of self-confidence that I then was able to take out into the world. And I don't think I would have gotten that at just a regular co-ed college. I think there are lots of opportunities here for women to be important in government, in organizations, that weren't available to my other friends who went to regular co-ed colleges, and even all women colleges, because you didn't have a chance to interact with men who you were going to be working at the in the workplace with. But for a new entrepreneur, I would say one thing. There's only one thing you have to stay in your mind over and over again, and that is there is always room at the top. That's the one thing you could take from us tonight.
Excellent. Well done. Another one. I've saved the best for last here. Best questions, not the best judge. I'm not making any judgment about the judges. But Horace I've known for many years and I have great respect for. He's on our board of trustees and he's a very smart guy. Went off to business school at Northwestern, has built business. He's a very clever thinker. So we're going to do the lightning round with you, Horace.
Okay. Ooh.
You're up for it, right? So I'm going to say a word, and you're going to come right back at me. Horace Allen can do this. I am confident. So let me say something, and you kind of feed back to me what comes into your mind.
I'm ready.
Entrepreneurship.
Wall.
One more time.
Wall.
Wow.
At some point,
This is excellent.
know-
I have no idea what he's saying. This is awesome. This is great.
at some point, you're going to hit the wall. At some point, that you're up all night, you're working your tail off, and bad things do happen to good people, but you got to get through that wall, and you got to break through. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to know the wall's going to come. And when it comes, you got to break through.
Now, that's a good answer. I was going to keep going to try to stump him, but I'm going to fold. We are very fortunate to have these alums as our judges. They've come up here on their own. They've braved the elements. They came early. But more importantly, they bring their minds and their hearts and their commitment to Hobart and William Smith, along with their professional acumen and experience to this event. So we are profoundly grateful to you. And I would say to the students here in the audience, we talk a lot about worlds of experience and lives of consequence, and urge you during the course of your 4 years here to interrogate that question. What is a life of consequence? And it's going to be highly personalized to every one of you. But I would hold out these 5 graduates as those who, like you, a few years back, were sitting in these very seats and places and took advantage of a Hobart and William Smith education and went on to lead a life of consequence. So on all our behalf, we thank you for your own individual personal journeys, for giving back to us in this important way. And I'd like to bring up Dr. Amy Forbes, who is the Associate Director of the Centennial Center for Leadership, to continue the program. Thank you all.
Wow. Thank you, Mark. What a great crowd. I can't believe everybody came out in all this. Fantastic. I'm going to remind everybody about how the contest works. And I know we're inching closer to the actual presentation, so that's a cue to the finalists to get ready. This is the end of a 6-month experience for our finalists. I want everybody to know that. They've been working at this for 6 months. This fall, we sent out a call for proposals. We told students to outline their ideas for products, services, and organizations, and they could be nonprofit or for-profit. I must thank our fantastic selection committee, many of whom are here and wanted to be here. They reviewed all the proposals and had to turn it around quickly within 1 week to narrow the field. They chose 7 semifinalists, and we matched each of them with an alumni mentor. These mentors assisted students as they revised and strengthened their proposals. I'd like to sincerely thank all of our mentors, as we know many of you are watching at home on the live link. Their passion in seeing our students succeed was just extraordinary for us to watch. The selection committee decided on 4 finalists at the end of the second round, and these finalists are here tonight. They've withstood 2 really rigorous rounds where their proposal was emphasized. But their task tonight is much different. Tonight we've asked them to pitch their idea to a panel of judges, an extraordinary group who came early in order to beat the weather to be here. Thank you very much, all of you, for doing that. And the panel is essentially the last component of an applied learning experience that the pitch provides. Our judges represent any boardroom, any stakeholder, any opportunity where an individual must walk through a door and make a case for someone to invest in them. I want to briefly cover a few things for the format tonight. The audience should know that our judges are looking for 5 different criteria: clarity, innovativeness, implementation, viability, and then impact. Each finalist will have 8 minutes of uninterrupted time to pitch their idea. After each presentation, the judges will ask the finalists questions. Once all 4 finalists have finished, our judges will be excused to deliberate and our audience can enjoy desserts outside. During our intermission, we're going to ask that the audience participate in an online poll and then join us for a guest appearance from last year's pitch winner, Drew King. Then we'll announce the winner of the $10,000 grant. Okay, so now we're ready. We're going to start off the evening. I'd like to invite to the stage Nicole Pastor. She's a sophomore. Nicole is a sophomore economics and history major who worked closely with Susan Keller, who I know is watching, wanted to be here. She's a successful entrepreneur, business advisor, and a partner with Edward Wildmans and Palmer, and a parent of a Hobart sophomore. Won't you please welcome Nicole? Yeah, you got it.
Thank you, Amy, for the wonderful introduction. Hello to the audience, judges. It's an honor to be up here first. I actually would prefer to go first. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nicole Pastor, and I'm the founder and CEO of Generation Young, a comprehensive web startup centered on financial literacy for young people. Today's 20-somethings, that's us, have accumulated a debt averaging $45,000, and $29,400 of that represents student loans. With the rising cost of college, 77% of us must take out loans to cover costs. Do the math, and that adds to a record $1.2 trillion in student loan debt this year. That's more than 5% of the US federal deficit. 84% of graduating college seniors claim they need help managing their money, but it's very clear they just aren't getting the help they need, as 61% of millennials living on their own still need money from their parents just to make ends meet. For the individual and our economy, this is a major problem. But how can we hold millennials to a standard of financial responsibility if the existing models fall short of providing them with a comprehensive financial education? We really can't. It was from this current culture and my personal observations of the general lack of financial responsibility among my peers that inspired me to create Generation Young. Our mission is to provide users with a personalized education to achieve financial literacy, such that they can take charge of their financial future to live a better and more fulfilling life. The service will provide users, or the education that Generation Young provides, is both preemptive and proactive in focusing on the basic financial concepts of paying down debt, working with a budget, saving, and planning for the future. The website will provide tools to users with which they can visualize their personal finance habits, along with a community that is conducive to personal growth. The service will enter the market through a tri-faceted web interface that aggregates media information, provides money management simulation tools, and facilitates financial planning and investing services. The typical Generation Young user is a tech-savvy young adult who wants to learn more about financial concepts, know they need help managing their finances, or feels a general anxiety surrounding financial decisions. To fully understand the user experience, let's walk through it. John is a college student. He has a part-time job, receives a small monthly stipend from his parents, has $25,000 in student loan debt, and he needs help. John goes to the Generation Young website and creates a profile free of charge. He is prompted with a simple quiz to determine his financial life stage, and based on this stage, the media aggregator curates a personalized third-party media mix specifically for John. Using his profile, he is able to repost, comment, and interact with other Generation Young users. This sense of community allows John to feel that he is ready to dive deeper into his personal finances. For a small monthly price, less expensive than Netflix, he is able to have access to money management simulation tools developed by Generation Young, with which he can visualize and then actualize his personal finance habits and goals. John now feels that he has control of his personal finances, something that he has never felt before. And now he wants to be proactive. Using the Generation Young interface, he is able to link with a partnering institution with which he can start a retirement plan, allocate his earnings into savings, and build an investment portfolio. Now here's the thing. John may not conduct thousands of dollars in transactions annually, and he probably won't become a millionaire overnight. But he will become financially literate, be inclined to make sound financial decisions, and understand how to dictate his financial future. And he will not feel like he's taking a course in personal finance. But that's exactly the point of this company. We spend a tremendous amount of time online communicating and accessing different types of information. Generation Young simply becomes a part of your daily routine, as it delivers a similar web experience to what you are already doing on these social media platforms. As millennials, we have an unbelievably short attention span. We are motivated by self-interest, and we learn differently than generations before us. The success of this company will come from its acute awareness of the lifestyles and behaviors of millennials and creating a tool for them that they will actually want to use. Generation Young will be launched in 3 stages of implementation, so let's walk through it. The first stage is the initial web and mobile optimized web launch. Stage 2 includes the addition of money management simulation tools to the existing website and the transition of active users to paid subscribers. For a monthly price less expensive than Netflix, users are allowed access to these tools that will help them visualize paying down their debt, balancing their budget, and understanding how to dictate their financial future. Stage 3 will include the addition of industry standards dictate that between 1% and 4% of active users of web services will transition to paid subscribers. If Generation Young is able to secure just 3,500 paid users in year 1 of implementation, we will have generated $269,000 in revenue from membership fees alone. Along with additional advertising and sponsorship revenue at this time, we estimate a total revenue generated at $284,000. Stage 3 will include the addition of financial planning services to the existing website through my partnership with a financial institution such as Fidelity or Merrill Lynch. Generation Young will act as the transition between significant financial life stages in connecting users with valuable future partners. This partner will provide the financial infrastructure necessary for Generation Young to facilitate general savings, retirement planning, and investing. Generation Young will heavily leverage social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter to capture members of the demographic who need the tools and services that the web application offers. Due to the low-cost nature of these social media platforms, Generation Young predicts a customer acquisition value of less than $21. Based on an estimated average of 14 months of paid usership, we estimate the lifetime value of a customer at $91. Generation Young predicts that its cost for delivering this user experience at $41, meaning that we will achieve a profit margin of 32% on each new membership acquired. Once the website is launched, revenue will be generated from monthly membership fees, advertising, and commission made on transactions. Another market we have considered is colleges and universities by embedding Generation Young in the coursework. Just as many of you know, some economics classes here require your subscription to the Wall Street Journal. Generation Young wants to become the financial literacy program of choice in colleges and universities across the country. I'm asking for this $10,000 to allocate to software development costs to realistically create the beta version of this website in 6 to 9 months. As the founder and CEO of Generation Young, I have the insight, ideas, and passion necessary to create a tool for young people that they will actually want to use. Our vision is to become the trusted leader in financial education, planning, and investing for young people. The bottom line is that young adults are in trouble when it comes to their money, how to save it, how to spend it, and how to invest it. This company is a tangible and comprehensive solution to the current problems that is ready for implementation. Please help me to create this tool for my peers. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions. Okay. We'll start with one. I don't want to hog it. There's a lot of things you're doing here, right? If you had to pick the single most important aspect of your business plan, what would it be that's going to start or really energize folks to use the service?
Okay, so to build on your question, I think that in creating this service, I was acutely aware of the fact that I'm doing a lot of things. And I think that that's really important. Young people learn differently than generations before them, like I referenced in the presentation, and that requires absorption, analysis, synthesis, and action. And I think that I created this tool to follow that thought plan. So I couldn't isolate one part of this that's important, that is the most important, just because financial literacy is such a complex issue and it requires a really complex and comprehensive solution.
Just to follow up and maybe a statement, focus is super important in any business plan.
Absolutely.
Right? Doing too much, it's like peanut butter on bread, right? You spread it out. So being very, very focused and have a very specific feature that's going to drive might be an important thing to consider.
Right. Okay.
And I'll just, I guess, both a question and a comment, and part of this is just coming from my technology background, but this is pretty sophisticated, interactive, both web and mobile design, and the infrastructure that's required to drive the best customer experience, as well as some of the security concerns that
Absolutely.
people may have. Wondering what your thoughts are around. Do you feel like you have really a good handle on what it takes from an infrastructure perspective to deliver on the experience that you set out to do?
Yeah, I do think that I have definitely understand what it will take. That's why we estimate a startup cost that's so large. I wanted to be really conservative about that and estimate something that was realistic based on the infrastructure necessary to facilitate all of these features. So I do understand that, yes. And as far as liability and security, those are of utmost importance to me, just because millennials, they care a lot about trust as well. And I think becoming a brand that people can trust, that they'll use and they'll continue to use is really important. So I think I do have a handle on the complexity of it. I've spoken with a lot of people in the industry, consulting people to potentially join my team. So that's definitely a consideration that I have had.
Nicole, great job.
Thank you.
Much like someone gets an envelope, they know it's bad mail, they don't want to open it up. Did a great job outlining bad news for young people coming out of college. How do you get them to go open the envelope up? How do you get them to go in and start doing the Nicole way?
Absolutely. So I think infiltrating the market is very integral to this brand, absolutely, as any web-based brand. I think that one of the really important things about Generation Young is how easy it is. In my development of this brand, I investigated LearnVest a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And Alexa Von Trobel has done an amazing job creating these tools. But personally, I signed up for a subscription, got frustrated in about 15 minutes, and ran the other direction. I have just as short of an attention span for that kind of thing as the rest of my generation does. And that's an issue. So I think if we can effectively communicate the interactive nature, how sexy and sleek and fun and interesting and easy this is, I think that's the way to capture this demographic.
Yeah, and my only comment, just sell the carrots. I think it's a lot of stick in that if you don't get on board,
Right.
bad things will happen. Financials will get worse and worse. But
Exactly.
you throw some carrots in there and get people motivated.
I think this is a great idea. I have 2 millennials myself, and a lot of friends who have millennials, and they have great jobs, and they can't even pay for their rents. And as parents, we are constantly having to fill in the difference, and I only wish that they would have a simple, easy way to start managing their finances and their debt. So I really like this idea, and I think it is something much different than E-Trade that's going for an older generation.
Absolutely.
This generation, I hear you, it's got to all be in graphics and colors and drop boxes and fun things. My only thought is this generation is really all about, it's got to be a mobile, it's got to be an app
Right,
in my
absolutely.
mind. Otherwise, I like your idea very much.
Thank you. Well, just to respond to that, The initial launch of the web application, I'm building the website with responsive design, meaning if you've ever used a website that looks differently on your mobile device than it does on your desktop, that's exactly what that is. It's rescaling of the graphics, it's rescaling of everything, using responsive design so that you can access it on your phone. Then with the addition of the money management tools to the website, that is realistically when I will launch the mobile application. I've absolutely taken that into consideration. This idea began as just a mobile application, and I thought that I could deliver the experience a little bit better if I expanded to the web, but that's absolutely part of the plan and will come in stage 2.
Great presentation, by the way. And I totally agree with your subject matter in the sense that people really don't know how to plan or what the basics are. So I think the focus you have is great. The one area of concern I had was the fact that you might be co-opted by whoever your financial partner is. You might want to look at maybe having multiple partners and help them make a selection on which of those partners is best suited for whatever stage they're in.
Right.
So that it's less a lead campaign for whatever, because the financial institutions don't really have the best reputations. So that may take away from a really great idea.
Right.
And also your independence in terms of what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. One of the things that I have began to think about and develop in that way is choosing partners for specific parts of those stage 3. So if I find a financial partner who is able to facilitate the stock market transactions at a better way and give a better user experience to the people using my website, I'll choose them for that. If they can do other functionalities as well, I have no issue with that, but I think that identifying valuable partners is part of creating that trust. And so that's very important. If a different, say, like a Fidelity can do one part better than a Merrill Lynch can or an Ameriprise can, that's absolutely, it's bringing together the best people to deliver this experience.
Great job, Nicole. That was great. Great start. Our second finalist is John Darby, a senior computer science and architectural studies major with a minor in studio art. He was paired with pitch mentor Phil Lodico, who is a co-founder of Fairwinds Partner, a domain name strategy consulting company. Won't you please welcome to the stage John, who's going to present guest critique.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for braving the weather. I know that was a difficult task. All right, once again, my name is John Darby, and I'm here to talk to you about my web service, Guest Critique. In order to understand Guest Critique's importance in design education, we first need to know a little bit about design. Design means something different to everyone, but for me, design is a translation of an idea into the built form. Now, design is everywhere. Design finds its way into everything from the clothes that you wear to the chairs that you're sitting in. Design helps us form opinions and identify with the products and spaces we use. The Highline Project, in particular, directly increases the quality of life for the people in its neighborhoods. These types of projects are what make me optimistic about design, because they push me to believe that we can design a better world. As an architectural studies and studio art student at Hobart and William Smith, I've spent over 5,000 hours in these beautiful studios over the last 4 years. I've pulled more all-nighters because of my work than is probably healthy. And I'm sure I'm not alone. He'd probably agree with me. Now, if one is engaged in any sort of design work, then they know that there are thousands of idea iterations, hundreds of revisions, and more time than I can care to remember transferring, accessing, sharing, and organizing my computer files. The inability to access my information in an efficient way adds to my logistical nightmare and my overall lack of sleep. Any design student will tell you how vital constructive critique is to their personal growth. One of my primary responsibilities as a student is to provide feedback to my classmates. A majority of our class periods are devoted almost entirely to working desk critiques, where students receive feedback from TAs and their professors. Personally, I've always wondered if there was a way to accelerate this process so our class hours could be used more efficiently. I finally just got so fed up with these problems that I decided to build a website for myself. Guest Critique is a web-based service and app that will make online studio critique the norm and solve our file sharing problems. Guest Critique's features include an online portfolio, a virtual studio, a virtual desk, and a critique gallery. Let me show you them. The portfolio is the mainstay of our user experience. Each student on Guest Critique will have unlimited access to their own personal portfolio, which grows with each class that they take. In addition, the user portfolios will allow for private and public viewing. Here at Hobart and William Smith, architecture students are fortunate enough to have a senior seminar where they compile their portfolios. Other schools aren't so lucky. Guest Critique would standardize this process from the very first year. Not only does this prevent seniors, like myself, from waiting till the very last year to capture 4 years of work, but Guest Critique will allow them to create a comprehensive and dynamic portfolio that is professional ready. Next, the virtual studios are linked to the student's portfolio. From their portfolio, students will receive updates with course information, outside meeting times, and TA notifications. Within a studio, a student has a critique gallery and a virtual desk among their classmates. The desk and the gallery help facilitate a dialogue between the students and the teachers. All right, so designers in general solve problems in a nonlinear fashion. So what we've given them are some pretty cool tools. Here, Frances Gross is working on her storyboard for her midterm. Within her virtual desk, she can upload new idea generations alongside past concept designs. This allows for a comprehensive view of the design, which is essential for the classroom critique experience. All right, to build a classroom critique experience, students invite classmates to critique on top of one another's work. For designers, the power of critique cannot be overstated. Guest Critique will create a classroom experience that will save students time and enhance their learning for future designs. Last, we have the Critique Gallery. The Critique Gallery is a stream of student work inside the virtual studio that can be critiqued by all members of the class in real time. Students critique each other's work only if it's pinned up in the virtual crit room or at the request of a student. Professors often require critiquing, and all students might be required to give comment. When students use Guest Critique to give feedback on each other's work, they are able to hand draft and freehand draw. Students have the selection of various colors, line weights, as well as types, and shapes to convey their ideas. Students can also use the layering function to develop new ideas. I personally love to use this, and that's how I develop my projects. Our next step is a mobile platform. This will put us directly in line with our largest competitor, Morpholio. Morpholio is solely a free app that has similar features, but it's simply in the wrong market. There are over 2,000 architecture and design schools nationwide. Guest Critique will position itself to directly target the students and teachers in the studio. We seek to ingrain our user base so that way they will want to continue to use Guest Critique after college. This is a very different tack than Blackboard or Canvas, who don't support the large files or the intricacies of the design process. Also, their users simply leave after graduation. I believe that there is a business opportunity for a software service that will save time, support portfolio development, and allow for the same classroom critique. Guest Critique allows for the same functionality as Canvas and Dropbox. Therefore, it will be served at an estimated $20,000 annually per school with a starting storage of 25 terabytes. This is based on 100 student users. We have already received positive feedback on the technology, and HWS has agreed to beta test across all introductory level architecture studios. With my team, we will use the $10,000 ask to professionalize and check the features of this pilot. Professor Kieran Mocker will help us coordinate the implementation of Guest Critique in her classrooms over the fall 2014 semester. With the pilot complete, I hope to grow my services to Cornell and Columbia University for large-scale testing. These schools have the power to set trends and standards for education in the design world. We are confident that we will be able to hear, hey bro, can you guest crit me on all 2,000 campuses within the next 2 to 3 years? For growth just beyond the college arena, my dream is to allow our users to continue using their portfolios after graduation. There are in fact 17,000 architecture firms in the United States. We aim to connect our users directly with these firms by adapting the model that LinkedIn has set for forming professional relationships through our portfolios. I think that there is as much to gain from my service at the professional level as there is at the collegiate level. In closing, Guest Critique is poised to change education in the design world. We first and foremost value constructive critique, and we seek to save our users time and unburden them from the logistics, so that way they can hone their creativity and focus on designing a better world for us all. Thank you. As you can see, it was a bit of a task. So we have a great, huge team that helped me. All right.
Who's going? So really, really nice presentation.
Thank you.
Nice job with the visuals too. I think everyone was captivated by that. Couple of questions. So Dropbox, multi-billion-dollar company.
Yes.
In this space, stores tons and tons of files for folks. What makes you guys or your team think that you guys can outsmart them, right? They could put 25 developers on this tomorrow. What makes you think that you guys have something special?
All right. To start, we have something special because our users are incredibly pressed for time, and our users, in comparison to Dropbox, have complex files and different file types that are too large for a simple free subscription from Dropbox. Now, if we get into something like for instance, in Columbia, at Columbia University, students have tried to use Dropbox, and what ends up happening is one student gets a subscription, and then the other students that they're collaborating with are simply out of luck, and it doesn't help the process in any sort of capacity.
Yes, I just want to say I was not an architecture major, but I think it'd be really nice. You're obviously in a great community where other classmates are willing to take time to critique your work. I think that's really, really generous. So kind of a new thought for me. My question is what is the intellectual property here? A little bit curious, to where you're really differentiating yourselves, right? There are so many different options out there in the market, and larger companies who could throw a lot more storage. It's a very, very high price point. So what is that intellectual property beyond just bringing students together to critique their work?
In terms of my company?
Yes.
Okay. So we are providing new and innovative ways of reaching the architecture market. As architecture students, we spend an incredible amount of time in the studio, as you can see from my presentation. And the tools that we seek to bring, in the future, we're looking to expand and work with companies like Revit, AutoCAD, and Adobe, and to create sort of a plugin or something like that, so that way we could have our users directly integrate and send their designs, because most of our target audience will be operating on those systems. Hobart, I don't know if you know this, is a very, very special situation where we like to focus on hand drawing all of our designs.
One more, follow-up question, just over, privacy and security and plagiarism and trademarks.
All right, awesome question. I've been working with my partner, Mark Benya. He's also done a startup company for studying and things like that. And just some information for the audience. You are legally required by law to have a terms and conditions section for all the, for whenever you sign up for something like that. And that would be something that would be handled in our terms and conditions section that would be written up with a lawyer.
From a branding standpoint, is it guest critique, guest crit? Is it GC? What are you Have you settled in on what you're going to call?
I apologize. So
'cause
that's a little bit of my fault.
Yeah, because every time you're walking through, I'm seeing different naming.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
at some point, you're going to decide on, this
Yeah.
is our deal. This is,
It'll probably be shortened to guest crit,
okay.
because that's sort of the jargon that we use around the studio.
Okay. Next question is, why wouldn't a person just do some kind of AutoCAD editing capability? Just saying, give someone edit responsibility to make an edit and make an update or make a notation and then save it and leave it in Dropbox.
Because you're doing an incredible amount of clicks with that operation. Our service, everything that you can do on those web pages that I just showed you, you can get to anywhere on my website with 1 or 2 clicks.
Okay.
We're talking about ease of use and streamlining the process. Many large firms and just students in general have a lot going on at the same time. And so that sort of ease of access is where we're at.
Okay.
This took an incredible amount of work. I can see that from you,
Thank you.
and I'm very impressed by that. So here we have Hobart and William Smith campus, and we want to try out your program, and let's say we do, and it's fantastic. How do you get your foot in the door of Columbia and Cornell? What's your plan?
So I am personally, I have a contact there. So I have already been introduced to a handful of people. They're not decision makers on what the funding looks like for that school yet, but I'm working to build that relationship. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Great work. Okay, competition heating up here. We'll be going on to our third finalist. Our third finalist is a junior in movement science major with a minor in economics who has been mentored by Frank Everett, who is the founder of Thrive Frozen Nutrition, which incorporates health and nutrition into frozen treats. Morgan Bungris has created Wrist Renegades. Won't you please welcome him to the stage?
Hi, I'm Morgan Bungers. I'm the creator of Wrist Renegades, the wrist protection system for cross-training athletes. For those of you who don't know me, I've been cross-training for 5 years. For 4 of those years, I've been coaching it. Most recently, I founded the HWS CrossFit Club on campus, and I've had great success training the students, faculty, and staff of the colleges. What you just saw is a small taste of a cross-training workout, and those are just a few of the awesome athletes I get to train with every day. I'm a huge believer that with hard work, anyone can unlock their full potential. Too often, though, strong, capable gym goers are hindered in their workouts by nagging problems like sore wrists and blistered hands. These are problems I've struggled with myself. About 2 years ago, I woke up early and got to the gym before class. The workout I had planned involved overhead squats and pull-ups. Holding the weight above my head killed my wrists, and the pull-ups were tearing up my hands. The intensity of my morning workout was ruined. I ended up leaving the gym feeling frustrated and defeated because I couldn't use my time efficiently. That's when I got the idea for Wrist Renegades. Wrist Renegades is a wrist protection system for cross-training athletes that integrates the best features of 3 already existing products. Cross-training uses free weight and body weight exercises to train the entire body with short, intense workouts. Basically, every move is either a push or a pull. With excessive pushing, pulling, and sweating, gym goers can run into problems that hinder or even ruin their workouts. These athletes over here are doing a typical cross-training workout that include elements of pushing, pulling, and sweating. Evan here is doing push press. After only 2 reps, he has to stop because the pushing hurts his wrists. To help, he could wear wrist wraps for support. That won't offer any help during the pull-ups or the burpees. Rachel's doing pull-ups. That's it, all the way up, nice. She has to stop because her hands are starting to tear. When doing a lot of pull-ups, tearing the hands is as guaranteed as death and taxes. To help, she could wear gloves or grips to protect her hands, but that won't help during the push press or the burpees. That's it, Kara, let's flip the tire now. Kara's been doing burpees. Now when she goes to flip the tire, she can't because her hands are too sweaty. That's okay, take a break. If she wanted to, she could wear sweatbands to keep her hands dry, but that won't offer any protection during the push press or the pull-ups. Wouldn't it be great, though, to have a product that prevent the hands from getting sweaty, protect the palms during pull-ups, and support the wrist to avoid injury? Wrist Renegades combines the best features of all three of these products and eliminates the need for users to choose what piece of protective gear they're going to wear for their workout. This is because everything they need is in one product. Instead of buying a gym bag full of stuff, Wrist Renegades is a sweatband, wrist wrap, and handguard all in one. This product will improve the quality, speed, and safety of their workouts. Wrist Renegades slide on like a normal sweatband, can be tightened to provide support, and if hand protection is needed, the handguard can be slipped on the finger and snapped on here. They come in multiple colors and are machine washable. Many of you may have heard of CrossFit. CrossFit is a cross-training program that's exploded with popularity. For instance, on this campus, there was one CrossFitter last year. That was me. Now, thanks to my efforts with the CrossFit Club, we are nearing triple-digit numbers. Globally, there are 10 million CrossFitters worldwide in over 10,000 gyms. On campus, with the HWS CrossFit Club, I've had great success training the students, faculty, and staff of the colleges, as well as having an impact on the community by working with local gyms and other groups, like the Geneva Fire Department. My CrossFitting community will be the early adapters behind this product. This is a culture I know well, and I'm convinced this product will find success because it addresses common problems these athletes face every day. I am now deep into the prototyping stage of this idea. What you have in front of you is a very basic prototype I had made by a local tailor. But for the past month, I've been working with Protosew, a manufacturer in Arizona. I've sent them designs and discussed the best materials to use with them. With the $2,000 that I earned from HWS Idea Lab, I've ordered 4 prototypes so that a few athletes can test them. I need this $10,000 grant for more inventory and to establish Wrist Renegades as a brand. I'm researching the patent process, and I'm trademarking the name. With the $10,000, I will shift straight into my marketing strategy. Wrist Renegade's website is ready to launch, and we're gearing up to generate a buzz on Facebook, Twitter, and with YouTube demonstrations. We plan to sell Wrist Renegades for $15 on our website. Based on the materials I've selected, each pair of Wrist Renegades will cost $3.37 to make. If we sell it for $15, that means from each sale, we'll net $11.63 in profit. As you can see, it costs $12 for the wrist wrap, $22 for the handguard, and $8 for the sweatband. That's a total of $42 for 3 products that you can't use all at the same time. Wrist Renegades offers all protection at a more affordable price. In addition to sales from our website, we plan to be a highly sought-after vendor at regional cross-training competitions. There are hundreds of these each year, and they provide us the opportunity to sell directly to the customers. I also plan to sell Wrist Renegades at health and fitness clubs. I've talked to multiple gym owners about offering a product like this on their shelves, and the responses have been promising. Shortly after that, we'll begin working with manufacturer reps, who will go to the offices of orthopedic doctors and physical therapists. These doctors can then recommend my product to their patients. Word of mouth will obviously be an important part of my marketing strategy. Fortunately, when one athlete uses something they like, they tend to tell everyone they can about it. With these distribution channels in place, I am planning to purchase 750 pairs of Wrist Renegades. My goal is to sell all 750 by the end of the summer. In doing so, I will have netted over $11,000 in profit. I'll go right back into making more inventory. I am confident I can sell this amount because this winter I surveyed 350 athletes in 10 gyms across the East Coast. Based on their responses, I've gathered that over 50% of them are using at least 2 of the 3 products I'm trying to combine. After generating sales, I really focus on landing a large-scale retail partnership, such as Sports Authority or Dick's Sporting Goods. With success from selling Wrist Renegades, I plan to grow it into a larger brand called Gym Renegades. As a coach, my goal is to always give athletes the tools they need to succeed. Gym Renegades will be a brand made by athletes, for athletes. We will offer gym goers things like custom designed gym bags and affordable apparel that allows them to get the most they can out of their time at the gym. 5 years from now, I plan to continue my coaching career as well as owning my own network of gyms. Gym Renegades will be an important part of my organization that's always focused on making people stronger than yesterday. I'm a believer that if you work hard enough, you can do what you love. I want to coach, own my own gyms, and be the entrepreneur behind this brand. For now, I simply want to give gym goers a tool that allows them to get everything they can out of the gym. Wrist Renegades, give you the tools for success, because you got to work for it. Thank you.
Okay, he's not paying you all. Well done on doing something to the audience.
This is my CrossFit club.
What you've done,
I'm their coach.
nice job. One of the things that I think you've got to focus on here, and that was a very good presentation.
Thank you.
Where's the marketing dollars, right? So you talk about cost and you talk about sale price, but there's overhead, there's marketing, there's all those things that have to be added in there. So, where's that? And besides word of mouth and you selling yourself out of your car, what are you going to be doing to target this audience and what's it going to cost you?
Definitely. So at the beginning, it'll be a two-pronged approach. Social media. In my cost structure, I've allotted $3,000 for that, $2,000 for YouTube, where for 20 cents, you can buy a preview video. So you can put in before videos that viewers watch. And you can target that audience very narrowly. So I can target CrossFit videos, cross-training, exercise in general. The other 1,000 of that 3,000 will go to Facebook, where for $10 a day, Facebook will promote your page, again, to a targeted audience. And they say with that level of promotion, you'll get about 50 likes a day. The other prong of that approach is getting out there, like you said, out of the trunk of my car. CrossFit is a huge community. So going to competitions and just getting brand placement at those places will be fantastic. And word of mouth, when one person in the gym uses something they like, they're going to talk about it a lot. So your buddy next to you just crushed a workout, got 2 more rounds than you did. You're like, buddy, what are you doing? He'll say, Wrist Renegades.
Just a quick follow-up. Likes don't sell product.
What's that? Likes?
Likes
Totally.
don't
I
sell
agree.
products. I mean, that's just for everybody here.
Yeah, a
As
like is
everyone
not a
knows,
sale.
just because it's liked doesn't mean anyone's actually going to buy it. So
Definitely.
be careful that you don't base your marketing dollars on likes
Totally,
or thinking
yeah.
that there's some incredible conversion from likes. It's about clicks. It's about conversion on your site or whatever your
Very
e-commerce
true.
business
Very true.
is.
Hopefully with likes, they'll see the pictures of the bloody hands and then be like,
Yeah, I'm curious. You evolved to a different brand
Yes.
that you really want to bring to market and really use that as the platform for exponential growth. How come that's an afterthought? And I guess to follow up, there or my comment, my advice would be, you need a much more well-rounded marketing plan. And there are a lot of really cool ways you can get into market that don't necessarily cost a lot of money. But if you do expect to do online sales, there needs to be a significant investment. So the profitability of $11, and I guess this last question, I promise, the price point, I'm curious why you priced it the way you did, given what's out on the market. Do you feel like there's an opportunity to drive even higher margin and frankly use those dollars to invest in marketing?
so the question is why $15?
Why $15?
Why $15? So yeah, with $3 to make, $15 to sell. Our three competitors, or the 3 products we're combining, 8, 12, and 22. So we're in the middle, in the median. But also, I don't want to just target the advanced athletes who are going to drop as much money as they can to improve their exercise. I want to get that person who's been in the gym for a week and is tired of their hands bleeding. Like $15, that's not that much. I'll go ahead and invest in it, and it'll improve their workout. So there is room to grow. I've struggled with the price point, thinking 15 or 20, but I think 15 is the best point to get the widest range of people. A great question. Thank you.
The health and fitness business is billions of dollars of fads. Here today, gone tomorrow. So we had Atkins, paleo, Taibo, Brazilian booty lift,
That's one's my favorite. I love that
Zumba,
one.
Jane Fonda. I look at CrossFit and I'm going, okay, it's a 2-year deal, right? Going gangbusters. Are you afraid that come a year, 2 years from now, CrossFit ain't cool no more and it's something else?
No. But no, fantastic question. My beliefs mean nothing in terms of business. So Reebok just signed a 10-year deal with CrossFit to promote it and the CrossFit Games and all that big, huge fitness as a sport. That was signed in 2010, so there's still 7 years of the CrossFit Games building off of that.
Now let's keep in mind that Reebok is the same company who also denied Michael Jordan ownership of the company, and Nike took the deal, and we know how that worked out.
Yes, yeah. So even going off of not just what Reebok did, there are, like, it's 10,000 gyms worldwide.
Okay.
All those people wouldn't invest their livelihood into something they think is a fad. You're totally right that the fitness industry is full of fads.
Yep.
But even if CrossFit's a fad, cross-training is my target audience. Even outside of CrossFit gyms, people are moving heavy weight, doing a lot of pull-ups, and sweating. So CrossFit or not, this product will help athletes work out and improve themselves.
Okay. You mentioned before the issue is that the palm is tearing.
Yes.
But if I look at the device, I only see one strap. How does that cover the whole?
So the primary point of contact when you're holding the bar or doing like a deadlift would be that knuckle, your middle finger knuckle.
Okay.
That's where most tearing occurs. So with that protected, your tears will diminish incredibly.
All right. Now I'm a judge.
Yes.
And I have influence.
Yes.
Yes or no question. Can you take me?
Can I say it? Yes.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
Yeah.
All right, the last question. Great
Please.
job.
Thank you.
And my only question was, in terms of the, where's the ergonomics and the science behind it? It seems like a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But I didn't hear any of the scientific supportive evidence that this is a superior product and why.
So the strongest evidence is the fact that there are wrist wraps, there are sweatbands, and there are hand guards. They're doing something, and I want to do what they're doing better, and that's Wrist Renegades. Also, I've read many articles published in the CrossFit community about people with serious wrist injuries from avoiding that nagging pain, and it gets worse. Wrist is a complex joint. You got a lot of tendons, a lot of nerves going through there, and it needs to be supported when you're pushing your body weight over your head.
Right. Great.
So,
But if you get an endorsement or someone who's in that aspect of the product development, that would be very important.
definitely, especially if we go to physical therapists, we want to have some facts backing ourselves up.
Great. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
Stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Feeling guilty that I haven't been to the gym this week. Okay, that was awesome. Great work. And great work to the athletes, too, over here. Our fourth and final finalist is our first year ever to make the finals. He worked closely with pitch mentor George Swartz, who is the Senior Associate Interactive Program Manager at Sabin Nitro, a creative brand and technology firm. Otto Benciential has developed Revision Prep. Please welcome him to the stage.
Picture this, a ninth grader in Ghana taking the Basic Education Certificate Examination, the BECE, which is the National Senior High School Entrance Exam. Along with other ninth graders, he buys books filled with past questions to study for this exam using pure rote memorization, which Guineans call chew, pour, pass, and forget. But here's the problem. These books these students use have questions and answers without explanations. Students are therefore at a loss students are therefore forced to take the answer as is without knowing the right process to arrive at this answer. When students go into these exams, they're at a loss and face variations of these questions. They're at a loss because they don't fully understand the right process to get there. This is a trend that has been consistent through in exam preparation in Ghana. And this, as a result of this, there are dismal numbers of students who pass each year. Of the 400,000 students that took the exam last year, 47% moved on to senior high school. The students that did not pass this exam either retook the exam or dropped out altogether. fast forward to high school graduation, only 62% of this number moved on to pass the senior high school exam, moved on to university. With such a dependence on memorization, university graduates are ill-prepared for the workforce, Only 25% of these graduates find jobs, and even then, the levels of productivity are not competitive. We need to get these numbers up. We want to increase the BECE pass rate and get students to apply concepts effectively without reliance on memorization. And this is how we're going to do it: Revision Prep. Revision Prep is a gamified online social learning tool that will transform exam preparation in Ghana. Revision Prep will make use of gaming elements such as personalized fast feedback, experience points, and leaderboards. Let's take a look. How many of you played the phone game Temple Run? Right. We're going to use gaming elements. We're going to use gaming elements similar to what's used in Temple Run in our program. With personalized fast feedback, students will receive detailed explanations on how to arrive at the correct answer, and they can track their progress. Participants can also garner experience points while they engage in the program to help them move higher in the leaderboards. Leaderboards provide recognition and incentive to keep students interested in the program. These incentives would be extra points and educational materials. Here's Kwamina using Revision Prep. He logs into a student account, selects math, and begins answering questions. He answers a couple correctly till he gets one wrong. Now, a percentage of the total points available will be deducted. He receives an explanation and the correct answer to arrive at that answer, and the right answer, sorry. After, with this understanding, Kwamina answers a similar question to regain some of these lost points. He's now challenged rethinking and applying what he learns rather than simply being given the answers to difficult questions. When I took the exam, all I had were past questions, answers with no explanations. Revision Prep plans to give students this understanding they lack. Gamification works. The concept exists. A company called Edufocal offers a gamification exam prep service to students in Jamaica. It was started in 2012 and has already been publicly validated. According to the CEO, a survey sent out to Edufocal users showed they performed better in their exams and they improved their problem-solving techniques. Ghana's educational, cultural, and social makeup is very similar to Jamaica's. Therefore, I believe Ghana is ready for this program too. I can imagine what you may be thinking, while Edufocal is not a competitor, they're not a competitor, their success using gamification shows that using gamification for exam test prep is effective. I can imagine what you guys may be thinking. Ghana and Africa, is there electricity? Is there reliable internet? Would students be interested in this program? The answers are yes, yes, and yes. There's a technological boom that's happening in Africa right now. More schools are introducing information technology into their curricula and building information technology labs where students can practice their computer skills. Nearly half of African internet users say they spend 2 or more hours each day on the internet. Specifically, more than 40% of Guineans say they spend more than 2 hours on the internet each day, with 55% of them doing so through laptops. Revision Prep will not only be a leader in technology in Ghana, but will be a pioneer in this new mode of students learning online. Let me show you how we're going to work. My longtime friend and business partner, Ike Che, is a third-year student at MIT. We are currently recruiting MIT computer science majors to start creating the online system. This will happen this summer while we are back in Ghana collecting data. Revision Prep will operate with the help of 2 influential academics in Ghana, Mr. Patrick Iwa, president of the Ashesi University, and Ms. Joanna Degbe, former vice principal of Ulster Academy. They will serve on an educational advisory board and help me recruit teachers who create the content for Revision Prep software. These teachers will be compensated for their services. I need the $10,000 grant to get Revision Prep rolling. By the fall of 2014, the beta version of Revision Prep should be done and ready to pilot at Ulster Academy, which is where Ike and I attended junior high school and sat for the BECE. I've been in contact with the principal there, who is not only a big supporter of my afro in the last couple of slides, but is excited about the potential for students learning with Revision Prep software. For the fall pilot, we'll monitor ninth grade students who are preparing for this exam in May 2015. Through data analysis and surveys, we will test the effectiveness of Revision Prep's program. If this pilot is successful, we will expand to 1,500 students in the fall of 2015. At this point, I would have completed the trademarking process and will be filing as an LLC in Delaware State and in Ghana. We have two revenue streams, institutional and family subscriptions. Ninth graders in target schools can purchase a $50 year-long subscription. Families can also purchase a service for $60 for their kids in other grades. Today, families spend upwards of $200 on each student preparing for this exam. Clearly, Revision Prep is a more affordable option with added benefits. If we meet our goal of being in 10 schools with more than 3,000 individual users by our second year, we would have generated a profit of approximately $250,000. At this pace, we will be on track to making $1.5 million by year 5. Revision Prep plans to be an international online education company. First, we will expand to different formats in Ghana, then move on to the larger West African market. We at Revision Prep will tap into the Africa Rising narrative to improve our global image. With a more affordable, better, and more accessible service, we will create a repository of astute young leaders and thinkers who are creative, innovative, and capable of significant problem solving. Yesterday's news was chew, pour, pass, and forget. With Revision Prep, today's news is understand, interpret, create, and communicate. With your assistance and support, Revision Prep will answer the question of how our future leaders will respond to critical social needs by educating them one student at a time. Thank you very much.
Okay, I guess I'll go again. So nice presentation. I think generally you're trying to tackle a very difficult problem, right? And I think it's nice to see that you've got a very focused group to go after. Do you have aspirations for this to be a bigger operation, you know, beyond Ghana and, you know, Africa and maybe, you know, the rest of the world? What's the aspirations, the bigger aspirations?
Possibly the rest of the world. This exam, the BEC, is taken throughout West Africa, so there's definitely the potential to expand to different markets. And I haven't yet explored what exams are taken in the other parts of Africa, but moving through Africa will be a great option for us, yes.
Because I think generally, you know, a big vision when you're tackling this type of problem, education in poor countries, I think that's a very noble opportunity, but a big vision might be give a little more sex appeal to this idea. So that was number one. Number two, just real quick, one thing I think you got to focus on is conversion rates, right? So you've got kind of every student in every school being a part of this. That may or may not happen, right? So I think you also have to think about the expected conversion rate and usage that's happening at each school to really get a viable look at the potential revenue. So,
thank you.
I agree. You did an excellent job. I think this is a great idea. My question is, beyond making $250,000 in year 2, how do you define success? The ultimate goal is to elevate the children to secondary school. How do you set a benchmark and really strive for that goal beyond elimination?
Well, students are going to, first of all, we're trying to get them to pass the exam, move on to senior high school. And with the additional skills they acquire by using Revision Prep, critical thinking and analytical thinking, they're going to keep these skills and move on through secondary school and into university and go into their jobs. Because right now, there's employers who are complaining that their kids coming in from university are not, they're not thinking, basically. They're coming in, they're waiting to be told what to do. But I guess I hope with this, they get these skills from a very young age when they're ninth graders, and hopefully stays with them throughout their educational and working careers.
You said 62% passed the test. And I guess
my
my point is, for a company like this, to make the goal personal. So again, if good is 100% pass the test who have used this tool, that's how you build a case to then take it more broadly. So something to think about.
Thank you.
If I understand correctly, you want to be a for-profit,
Yes.
and you sort of have a non-profit undertone. Have you ever thought about being a social enterprise?
We thought about that, but creating the system alone costs so much. It's in our startup costs, so that's why we need money from somewhere, and obviously that money has to go back to whoever we gave it to us. And we're paying teachers to set questions for this program as well, so they need to be well compensated. And we have data entry clerks to be part of our team, and they also need to be paid for their time to putting questions on this online system. So just through all of that, that's why we're a for-profit company. And in the future, we plan to expand this to larger market public schools who may or may not have the funds to participate in Wisdom Prep's program.
I don't know
For
the
free.
detail, but I think you may find out everything you just said is not mutually exclusive with a social enterprise. Just something to think about.
Okay.
I like the idea very much that you have a partner, because I think starting any company, it's great to have another brain to bounce things off of. But as an investor myself and investing in young companies, many of us investors are very nervous about investing in things that are going to be used in foreign countries, especially Africa. So if I'm an investor and I want to give you some money, how are you going to convince me that Ghana is politically stable and that the jobs that the families have that are going to pay for this are also stable?
Through personal experience, I've been there. I trust that as an investor, you're also investing in the person. I've been there, and I have no reason to lie to you. I've been there. I took a gap year after high school. I stayed there for a year. I know the culture and kind of families, what's going on in Africa right now. It's all over the news, emerging markets. Ghana is one of the top emerging markets these days. And it's all because of these jobs. And yeah, Ghana. And yeah, I mean, the evidence is there that there's more money coming in. People are being more creative, being more productive, and I believe Wisdom Prep is a service that parents would love their children to use to be able to create more extra benefit for them in the future. Yeah.
Really nice job. And the one thing I had a question about, you mentioned gamification at the beginning, but there's never been any kind of thought behind what that aspect and element means to the overall product. I know that it's a very engaging aspect. I see kids playing games all the time, so I think it's a great idea. They have a leaderboard that was mentioned, but none of that really was translated in your proposal, and I think it's really important that element, which is very engaging, by the way, kids do like that, and the fact that they would then be able to share with peers results and maybe have a competition and make it even fun to study, which is a unique idea, right? So that would be an area that I would look at and try to get more into the narrative of what you're trying to do.
Well, just to respond to that really quickly, the gamification aspect is to build motivation and interest in the program. That's going to keep students interested and continue playing this, well, not playing, but using the service, and hopefully they share it with their friends and it becomes a big one.
Great, but I would use that as an emphasis because I think it's really good.
All right, thank you.
Okay, that concludes our pitch presentations. Let's give all of the finalists a huge hand for the work they've done. Okay, so we are going to hand over the task to deliberate to our judges, so we'll excuse you now. You can follow Susan back to the Wazy room. Wonderful work. And everybody here, we are going to ask for some of your help before we go to a dessert reception. Those of you might remember our poll everywhere from last year. As emerging entrepreneurs, our finalists need important feedback from tonight's attendees. We asked all the finalists to submit a question, and we'll provide them with this data with your help. Now I'm going to ask you to pull out those cell phones that we asked you to put away earlier. So we've created an audience poll, and the way this will work is we will post each finalist's question during the intermission. To respond, you will need to text to 333 using your cell phone. For those of you who have that text messaging plan, this is completely free. Those of you at home watching on the live feed, you can also vote. Let's try a practice question. Will spring ever come? Will spring ever come? Please text 22333, either yes spring or no spring. Yes spring and no spring are each one word. Responses are not case sensitive. The poll is open now. We got. Okay, let's close it and see what you said. Just as we thought, some jokesters out there. Okay, great, you've got it. Our finalist questions will be posted on this slide during the break. You can text 22333 each time and provide the appropriate yes or no response. For example, Nicole's question, you would text yes young or no young. The Centennial Center has also added its own question, which is open-ended down at the bottom. Please note before responding to this open-ended question, you will need to text 22333 and type the pitch 2014, all one word, and then text your comment. These comments are completely anonymous. We'll leave our polls open now and then rotate the questions during intermission. Right outside, we've got a dessert for you to enjoy. Please don't forget this. It's just outside, and we'll return in about 15 minutes, and we'll hear an update from last year's pitch winner, Drew King. Okay, so please enjoy. Thank you all. Okay, we do have a decision, so we're going to move ahead. We got a couple things, and then the judges will be back. I want to be first to thank everybody. If you'll notice, you look around the room, there's a lot of technology needs for this event, so we want to thank Matt and Roy, who've been working our camera and helping us set up all night. I also want to be sure to thank the Centennial Center's own Kaylin O'Brien and Salome Rose, who've been working all the students' slides back there in the corner. Michael Hepp as well has been really helpful to us. Thank you, everybody, for helping us set this up. Okay, we're going to look at our results for the polls. We're going to take a look at Nicole's results. Can we pull that? Okay, do you think? Okay, pretty even. Very good. Okay, take a look at John's. All right, wow. And next, Morgan. Okay, and let's take a look at Otto's. Wow. Thank you for that. We'll be sure to pass that over to the finalists. One item that you might want to take a look at on the back side of your program, we have a new Innovation Academy coming in the summer. This August, the Centennial Center is going to offer an Innovation Academy, which is an intensive entrepreneurship week. This will be offered to HWS students and regional college students. You can go to our website and please register before June 1 because spaces will be limited. This should be an exciting new program that all of the pitch students participated in before the semester. We're going to offer it to all students. Okay, so we have a really special treat tonight. Drew King, last year's winner, is here with us. He's agreed to give us an update. So won't you please welcome the founder of Space Vinyl, Drew King.
Thank you, Amy. It's nice to be up here. Hello. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Andrew King. I'm a senior here at HWS, and I'm the CEO and founder of Space Vinyl LLC. About a year ago today, my partner Zach Lerman and I got the extraordinary opportunity to stand upon this exact stage and pitch an idea to a crowd very similar to tonight. Within a group of talented finalists, all with strong ideas, we had no idea how the night was going to unfold. But to our joy, we were chosen as the winners of the 2013 pitch competition, and I can honestly say that neither Zach's life or my own has been the same since. This past year has been a journey, to say the least. So let me step you through some of the key events that have taken place after winning the $10,000 grant from the colleges. Just a few weeks after we won, Zach and myself were invited to participate in the Finger Lakes Regional New York State Business Competition at the Rochester Institute of Technology. This is considered the semifinals of the New York State Business Competition, a competition which has more competitors than any other statewide business competition in the country. In the Finger Lakes region, there were 50 teams competing in products and services, and of those 50 teams, Space Final was one of 3 teams to make it to the finals. Thank you. The next month, Space Final traveled to the College of Nanoscience and Engineering at the University of Albany to compete against 100 different ideas from 30 regions of New York. And although we did not end up winning the cash prize of $150,000, we did win the everlasting prize of feedback, interest, and friendship from our fellow competitors and judges. Heading into the summer with a clear and concise idea of how to execute the next steps in developing Space Final, on June 12th, our website was launched. Within the first 48 hours, we had close to 100 orders, 60% of which were for custom Space Finals. For the rest of the summer, Space Final remained extremely active, tending to a demand of both individual and bulk orders. Yet, once September came, I had to head back to school to finish up my senior year at HWS, and when multitasking as a CEO, student, teaching fellow, and teaching assistant, you can say manufacturing became a little difficult. So Zach and myself decided to shift our attention to other areas of the company that need to be groomed before we could take Space Final to the commercial market. For instance, focusing on the intellectual property that protects our product. I am pleased to say that in this past January, we were able to get Space Final officially trademarked for adhesive-backed stickers for spacebars on computers in Class 16. Since then, we have been thoroughly searching through Geneva and Ithaca for a place that Space Final can call home. From there, we will begin manufacturing on a much larger scale, allowing us to target schools and organizations, providing them with a branding opportunity for every computer in their possession. In addition, by the end of this month, we will be purchasing the Roland Versa Studio BN20, which will allow for a more detailed product as well as a quicker process. We have also recently linked up with a company called Verbal Plus Visual, who is currently helping us to redesign our whole digital platform. So with all this ready to go and graduation in sight, I guess that you can say Zach and I have quite the coming months ahead of us. The pitch competition jump-started my idea, transforming it from a vision into a reality that I am able to pursue as a career after I leave the colleges with the support of the colleges. And for that, I thank the staff of the pitch competition and the Centennial Center for Leadership for giving students the opportunity to pursue their passions. The 6 months prior to the pitch was one of the most influential times of my life. The pitch makes you go through a process that changes you and forces you to grow in every aspect of your life. So congratulations to those finalists who have completed that process, because that process within itself is worth much more than $10,000. And before I go, I might as well ask you to check out our Instagram at No Space is Safe, like our Facebook page, and keep your eyes out for the Space Final relaunch in this coming June. Thank you.
Okay. So before we announce the winner, I'd like to thank all of the generous supporters and donors of the Centennial Center for Leadership whose gifts have allowed us to do this good work. And now if I can have all 4 of our finalists on stage. Can you join me? I think we can all agree that these are 4 tremendously talented and amazing students, and I'm delighted to share the stage with them. So Nicole, John, Morgan, and Otto, in recognition of your participation in the final round of the pitch, the Centennial Center for Leadership would like to give each of you a certificate. In addition to recognizing your wonderful work over the last 6 months, we would like to support your continued development towards your entrepreneurial leadership. These certificates represent $750. Congratulations on your work to date. Our hope is that the contest has only enhanced your desire to pursue your ideas further. Yep. So to announce tonight's winner of the $10,000 pitch grant, I'd like to invite Judge Horace Allen to the stage. And he is going to give a few words from the judging room and announce our winner. Horace?
First, I want to say there were 4 outstanding proposals. When we first got them, my wife and I looked at them. And I remember we walked out of IBM when I was 29 years old, or going on 29 years old, and started TSG. And I compared to what we did in our pitch relative to what these young people did as undergraduate students. My partners and I were clearly the clown show. We were nowhere close. It was a joke. This stuff here was great. My wife is also has her MBA, and she couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it. Super job, great job, folks. I have my own informal kind of thoughts per each participant. And for Nicole, if Generation Y doesn't work out and you become the next CEO of Apple, keep me in mind. I can wash your car, take care of the clothes, separates the whites from the coloreds, wash your dog, walk the dog. I'm your guy. Keep me in mind. John, I have no idea what Otto was referring to as Temple Run, but those are great graphics. And if that's Temple Run, then I'm all for it. Morgan, for everyone here, there'll be a brief intermission, and then we can determine if I can take him or not. Otto, relative to your boy Ike, I think he needs a sandwich. Maybe a little CrossFit. I'm just throwing it out there. As to you, again, he's your boy. Just, he's looking a little thin. When President Guerin asked me, and we did not get the questions in advance, and he mentioned the word entrepreneurship and said, "What do you think?" I said the word wall, and he said, "Well, what do you mean?" For those who competed and those who watched and someday hope to compete, the wall is going to come. There was a point made during the meeting that, it's going to happen. Happens here at school. Hit the wall. You're tired. Real easy to throw the towel in. Real easy to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm packing it in. And the separation from those who do and those who don't want to, is will you break through the wall? Another issue that comes up, and it came through several times during our pre-meeting and tonight's meeting, is passion. I know the cards are important today, and you like your cards, and it's your safety, it's your blanket. But when you got passion, you don't need any cards. You need a couple of stupid notes with a couple worthless, corny jokes. But the passion always comes through. You don't need to know the questions in advance because you already know the answers. Sometimes you don't know you know the answers. Another piece is you got to have thick skin. Here at school, not everybody says all the nice things that you want. not all your friends have bought in. And when you start a small business, not everybody buys in. And I would tell you, there are days the clown show was doing real well, and other days the clown show was truly the clown show. We just didn't have the small car and the makeup. But we knew we were going to get better, and we knew the next day was going to be our day. Two things came out the whole day, every meeting. And one thing I hope everyone takes away from this is, number one, focus. You got to have laser focus. You got to know what you want. You got to keep your eye on the ball. But more importantly, you got to keep refining. You got to get better every day, narrow it down every day, focus and refine. And you do those things, at some point you will get there. It may not be as smooth and as quick as you like, but you will get there. The challenge with a forum like this is it's a general forum. A general forum is there's no sponsor who has their passion, their heart. If this were about financial literacy, Nicole would tell everybody, listen, stay home, it's my 10 grand, I got this thing, you guys shouldn't show up. If it was about obesity, Morgan would say, hey, listen, you got the wrong deal, guys. I'm taking the money home, you're wasting your time. You can follow me along if you want to, but it's not your deal. If it was about global learning, Otto would say, hey, you got to, listen, this is my 10 grand, I'll even give you a couple bucks if you come along and just cheer for me. You gotta pick your fights. Not every general fight is the right fight. And John may say, you know what, it's about technology. It's about throughput, it's about speed, it's about storage. And he would say, you know what, this is my deal, and it's mine to lose. And as long as I don't do anything crazy between now and the time to compete, I'm gonna win. And what you'll all find out is that you gotta pick your forum. This is a general forum, but there'll be other forums where you may lose today and win tomorrow, and win big tomorrow. And you gotta decide. That being said, the judges have to sit down in a room and decide in a general forum who won. Who did the best in an environment where it's fairly generic, you have all the criteria, and you make a grade. That being said, please join me in recognizing the winner for the $10,000 prize of Otto and Revision Prep.
Congratulations, Otto. It's awesome. Thank you very much.
Don't try to cash that. A big check. You know. Well, congratulations, Otto, and let me thank in a special way, and on behalf of all of us, to thank and congratulate Nicole and John and Morgan as well. They did a great job. Thank you. Let me thank Andrew King and congratulate him again for last year's win and for his thoughtful remarks tonight. Thank you for your continuing good work with Space Final. You've given me a line, Drew, the everlasting prize of feedback. I'm gonna keep that in mind. You may not get 10,000, the everlasting prize of feedback. File that. You're gonna use that someday yourselves. Let me thank our judges for the care and thoughtfulness of your questions and presence, for the feedback that you gave to our contestants tonight. You represent the colleges exceedingly well. We're proud of each and every one of you to call you an alum of Hobart and William Smith. 3 of you have served this institution and currently on the Board of Trustees. The chair of the board is here, Maureen Collins-Zupan, on behalf of all the alums of the colleges. We all thank you for your service tonight. Thank you. And finally, to the staff of the Centennial Center, Dr. Pliner and Dr. Forbes, to the mentors, to those folks who helped with the selection panel, to other Hobart and William Smith students who entered the pitch competition and have ideas through the Idea Lab for next year. We encourage your participation in the Academy this August. There's great ways to learn about entrepreneurship. This is a great night and a memorable night. Otto, you made history, the first-year student ever to be in the pitch and to win. Once again, stand up and have our thank you. Thank you all. I'm going to get my wrist. You got it for me? Because, it's been bleeding, and I do a little workout. But we'll catch you all tomorrow. Thank you all for coming.